Okay, now we want to talk about in this tutorial what your website's going to look like to others and begin the testing section of your business. Once you've decided what you want to sell and once you've got your website live on the internet, the next thing you want to do, of course, is to begin testing. And you're going to want to test before you launch and make it available and before you begin marketing. Before you waste anyone's time, click through your site and attempt to place a few orders. If you're an affiliate site, you'll want to make sure that the links go to all the right places. If your site has a full-fledged shopping cart and you're selling a product or information, you'll definitely need to follow the process from start to finish in order to ensure that there are no glitches. It's also a good time to make sure what your site looks like and that it looks good across a variety of browsers. Most websites will look slightly different from one browser to the next, but you may find significant differences that need to be fixed before you launch. That's especially true if you find inconsistencies across the latest versions of Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Safari, as they're the three most used web browsers. Rather than downloading each browser and trying them out on different browsers yourself, you can use Browser Shots to get download images of what websites look like in over 40 different web browsers. The URL for Browser Shots is www.browsershots.org. So it's not going to be a .com, it's going to be a .org. A link to that website is listed in our resources section for these tutorials. So the first thing we want to do is we want to test with outsiders. If everything seems to be functioning normally, you'll be ready to move on to testing with a couple of outsiders. For these tests, you'll want to locate people who are not familiar with your website or your business, because they'll be able to most closely resemble the average user for your site. You're going to want to conduct a test on the subject's computer, as this will prevent any added confusion from unfamiliar systems or settings. When testing, you want to make sure that you have a quiet room with just yourself and your tester. It's important to have a notebook and pen, and you may want to refrain from videotaping the experiment. If your tester is nervous about the camera, the results you get won't be as natural as if it were just the two of you sitting down alone. Another thing to consider up front is how you plan to take notes. Depending on the complexity of your website, you may find it helpful to print out copies of each page so you can make notes as the user clicks through them. For a more complex site, it may be more effective to just take simple notes on a plain notepad instead of shuffling through dozens of printouts. You'll also want to give some consideration to the language you'll be using. Try not to use highly technical descriptions and vocabulary unless it's absolutely necessary. If you're explaining that you'd like them to complete the sales process all the way through to conversion, say that you want them to shop for an item and buy it, or whatever is relevant or the relevant conversion action is for your site. Above all, remember not to take problems personally. Your goal is to find problems, not beat yourself up over them. Don't let yourself feel angry or resentful at the tester for having difficulties with certain parts of the process. Before you start the test, give your subjects some basic guidelines. If you don't already know one another, introduce yourself and explain the purpose of the test. Let them know that there's no such thing as an incorrect behavior or response, as you're trying to find the weakness in your website structure. If something confuses them, there's a very good chance that it would confuse others as well. So you're doing a great favor by pointing out problem spots to you. You should direct your tester to think aloud, offering any thoughts or impressions he or she may have on each page. Resist the urge to help or guide the user, though. Unless the misunderstanding is so significant that it would prevent you from finishing the test, there's no reason to step in and miss out on valuable insight into the navigation process. If you're having a hard time figuring out what to do next, try some of these exercises in this tutorial. Each one is designed to help you and your tester zero in on aspects of your site that could frequently cause problems. The first exercise is, what the heck do they sell here? Ask your tester what he or she thinks is the primary purpose of your website, and then allow them a few minutes to click around and formulate an opinion. You may think you're running a gift site, but the way you've arranged products could be leading your visitors to think that you only sell self-themed gifts or new age products. Ask questions like, what would you do on this website? Or what kind of person do you think would use this website? To get deeper opinions. If you prominently feature a blog or another non-commercial content, your users may not even realize that you have items available for purchase. This kind of confusion can make it hard for you to build a strong brand among your target audience, and that's exactly the kind of problem you want to identify with your testing. The next exercise is, I need help. In this exercise, show your user a product page and tell him or her that you're interested in the product shown on the page, but he or she would prefer to buy a slightly different version of the item. Ask him or her to show you what he or she would do to inquire about the other version. If the tester can't find help areas, you'll need to reevaluate your design. The next exercise is called the shipping dilemma. Despite the prevalence of shipping calculators, some of the web users still have problems and trouble figuring out how much it would cost to ship an item to their location. Ask your reader to place a couple of items in the cart and get a shipping quote. Ask about the pricing too. Would your tester be turned off by the prices quoted? Product scavenger hunt. Name a product and have your tester locate and attempt to purchase the item. If you offer customization or multiple sizes on some products, be sure to select an item that would have more potential for confusion. You might be alerted to ways in which you could be clearer. Product-specific pages. Try dropping your tester off on a specific product page. Are the basics just as clear? When you advertise products online, you'll often be using pages other than the home page as entrance points. If these pages are unclear, you'll be losing some of your best prospects. Make sure that every page of your website is designed to be a clear entrance point for your customers. An issue of trust. It's hard to get a completely honest answer here, but you should definitely try. Ask your tester if he or she would feel confident about making a purchase from your website. If the answer is yes, find out why. Maybe it's the little padlock in the corner of the screen. Maybe it's a high-quality design that makes you appear more legitimate. Or maybe it's a third-party verification service you've displayed on your page. Regardless, it's good to know. If your tester admits that he or she might not be confident in making a purchase, you have a great opportunity to find out why. Is there some kind of symbol that he or she is expecting to see to indicate safety? Is the design amateurish? Again, don't take the answers personally, and certainly don't take out your frustration on the tester. When you're done, ask your tester if he or she has any additional questions or comments. If you're using friends and family for testing, it could be very tempting to spend some quality time visiting afterwards, but resist the urge to do so. Once your testing is complete, it's important to take notes on the experience while they're still fresh in your mind. With any luck, you'll have pages full of notes and great ideas for changes you can implement to improve your website's design and organization. When you've made it through these changes, you'll be ready for another round of testing with new subjects. If you repeat the process until your testers are progressing through the site with confidence, you'll know you have a site that's designed to sell. In summary, before you open the doors to potential customers on the web, you need to test, retest, and then test again every aspect of your website. Click every link and place sample orders to ensure that your website is working flawlessly. Potential customers and visitors will not tell you if there's a problem. They'll just take their business elsewhere. Make sure that every link links to a valid page and that your shopping cart and payment processor gateway are communicating properly. Ensure that order confirmation emails are sent out, your database is collecting information properly, and the method of payment is collected. Once you have tested the functionality of the site and you are confident it is flawless, it's time to invite others to judge the website's ability to convince a potential buyer to buy. The key to identifying potential weaknesses in your website is to ask strangers or natural critics and pessimists to critique your site. Asking your mom or best friend to do it will usually result in a, "It's wonderful." Time how long it takes for each web page to load. Open your site in different browsers and ensure that the site looks the same in Explorer, Mozilla, Safari, and AOL.